So the reason why this video looks like this is because personally, I did not have any intentions on making a video. I had zero idea that I was going to make one, except for all the notifications I was getting about a short that I put up not too long ago. Now, I got my computer in front of me. I'll probably just throw it up here on the screen so you can see it too. But the short is Where Are the Men Part 2. Now, some of y'all probably seen this short, maybe not. It's got 54K views on it, tons of comments and shit. But essentially, it's a woman asking, where are the men that want to be on dates or like want to date and do all that shit? And I'm gonna be completely honest. I think the best outlier or the best example as to why most men don't want to date anymore would probably be Akash. Now, some of y'all probably know this story or not, but Akash's girlfriend has been pretty much just shitting on him. But yo, this woman has been treating this man like absolute shit verbally, right? I don't know if there's anything physical that's happening. Of course, I can't make that kind of call. But as far as I know, from what we've seen on the internet, this woman, I don't even know what to say. I'm going to make a video essay on it. One thing I find very interesting in this intersection of content, when we talk about like manosphere or red pill or whatever the case may be, although I may not agree with every single sentiment within this sphere, I do like talking about dating, relationships, social dynamics, self-improvement within reason, right? But as much as there are some things I don't agree with when it comes to the manosphere, right? For those that have their critiques but never go out of their way to also highlight some things that may be true, I find it insidiously ironic that not only are your, known manosphere content creators or just anyone who talks about dating and relationships, not only are they talking about this story, but you also have those who are vehemently opposed to people who make this kind of content. Now, would I lump myself in as far as like manosphere and all that other shit? I don't know. That's still up for debate, at least to my opinion. For me, I'm just an observer making note on the shit that I see based off stories. But if I did have to leave my opinion on something, especially as a man who is actually in a relationship, I'm in a healthy relationship, right? And as someone who is in that relationship, I'd like to give my opinion, or at least let women know, as to why most men don't want to date. Personally, I think I got pretty lucky with the character and caliber of woman that I've run into. And I'm thankful for that, right? I'm also going to be pragmatic here and say that that's as of right now, right? And that's not me saying, I'm hoping something bad goes in my relationship, but as a human being who's lost multiple family members, before I even turned 21, and, I've just been through a myriad of shit, I can tell you that not everything is always set in stone. You could work towards making things feel permanent, but permanence is not the position of anything in this world. That's real shit. With that being said, I'd like to say again, I think I got pretty lucky. However, in light of that, I can say I and a whole host of other people are probably the exception to that rule. Because the reality is this. Women who act like Akash's wife are very fucking common. They are very common. And the worst part is, I'm not the type of person who wants to try to police women. That's not my field, right? That's not my expertise. I think genders should be policing their own genders, right? Like, what do I get out of telling a woman what to do? That's not my woman. How the fuck does that help me? But if I can speak to those who interact with women that I may not, interact with, or whatever the case may be, I think that would have a larger impact. Screaming for women to have accountability and, trying to fucking shame women into having accountability, especially as a man, that's not going to work. You're just wasting your fucking time. Which is, side note, which is why the black community's got some issues, man. I'm not even gonna fucking lie to you. Black community's got some fucking issues. And I've got some videos that I'm gonna talk about that as well. But going back to what I was saying, Akash's wife is the prototypical, I hate the fact that I'm even gonna use these words, these fucking buzzwords, right? But Akash's wife is the prototypical Western woman. That sounds so fucking stupid to say, but it's kind of true. I can give a rebuttal to that within my own statement. And that would be, regardless of where you meet a woman, whether that be in America, Europe, Africa, Asia, it doesn't matter what fucking continent, what parcel of land you meet this woman on, women are human. Humans have a propensity to avert to doing some dumb shit. One quote that I live by is that I may not trust humans in a sense, but I could always trust humans to do what they feel is in their best interest at that moment in time. And if that interest involves me, then maybe I'm in a good standing. If it doesn't, then maybe I should best protect myself just in case. But Akash's wife is the prototypical Western woman. And the sad part about all of this is, side note, shout out to Sean Taylor. The sad part about all of this is that for, I'd say 60% of men, the way they think about women is not that healthy. I could say that, honestly. At the same time, though, I'd also say the same number could be applied to women. And if you want to argue it, maybe you could bump the numbers up a little bit more. I don't know, maybe like 80, 85%. I have no idea. What I would say is this. For those two people that have that thought process, especially for women, because more or less women are inherently shielded from criticisms, because, I mean, that's just how things were back in the day. Doesn't make it right? I don't know. I can't argue that, right? Like, I think in this world, or just in life in general, I believe nothing is above criticism. Nothing. Let me just reiterate this one more time. Nothing is above criticism. Now, if we're talking berating or, just essentially just being verbally abusive in our critiques and how we say things, that's one thing, right? But the idea that, women that act like Akash's girlfriend, wife in this case, should be his ex, to be completely honest. But for women that act like that, there sure is a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And I think the funniest part is, and one thing that doesn't get talked about enough, and shout out, I forgot this creator's name, it's a woman, so shout out to her. But basically she said so much to say that the only reason why some women aren't considered losers is because they're looked at in the eyes of a woman. You know what I mean? Like that's how they're perceived, obviously. But men get called losers left and right all day based off of their behaviors and the things that they do. In my personal opinion, Akash, don't come at me for this. Actually, I'm down to have a conversation. I don't care. I think if you were to take a look at a lot of what Akash's wife does, or just what women like that do, you would call her a loser. Akash's wife is a loser. I'm sorry. Anyone who takes pleasure in going out of their way to belittle their partner day in, day out. I seen a post on Facebook with this motherfucker Akash fighting tears like this. Fighting tears, bro. Trying to hold back what he's going through. Can you imagine working your ass off to get yourself in a position in life where you're making money, you're not worried about things financially. Maybe you are, I don't know, right? From the outside looking in, it seems like they're not, especially with the way, his wife goes on to describe all the fucking bags that he gets, or how, she gets to do nothing all day. I don't understand why that's such a trend. Like, why is that the marker of a good partner if they let you do absolutely fuck all in the relationship? And can we not say sex is like the one thing she brings that is the outlier? Because that's not true. It's not true, man. All right? Sex is like default. Like, you wouldn't get a car without a steering wheel, right? So, would you get into a relationship without having sex? To me, personally, that sounds stupid. But what I'm saying is, like, coitus, whether that be the only thing the man offers or the woman, that can't be the marker of a good partner. Or, at the very least, what I could say here is that can't be the only thing you get to offer up as a partner. Not for nothing, especially I don't want to sound like this, but I'm just saying. Especially if you're mid. That sounds a little mean, I know. That's not really where I wanted to go with, this video. But there really is something to be said about this, because as far as I know, right? I've never seen Akash have any sort of like heated debate with her. I've never seen him have any sort of like cheating accusations. Bro is again, as far as I know, right? Like, I try not to puff up these people, but as far as I know, he's seemingly a stand-up dude. So my question is this the relationship women want? Like, where you guys just get to, I guess, treat your partner however, and then from there, just do fuck all? Like, if that is the marker, or if that is what you want women out of a relationship, that is one of the key reasons as to why men are not fucking dating y'all. That's one of the reasons. Some of you, and this is me as an adult, some of you are rude. Some of you have no personality aside from your Instagram. There's always a marker, and this is coming from a model, by the way, a signed model. I've done a lot of work as a model, still getting work. Now, one thing I always find particularly hilarious is when there's a woman on Instagram who has like their Instagram is very curated, right? Like, it's all about fashion, or not necessarily fashion, but her quote unquote modeling, which is really nothing more than a series of test shots shot by a bunch of boudoir specialized photographers who are really nothing more than just some neckbeard losers who cannot get women any other way than by being a fucking creep. I said it. If you're mad about it, I don't know what to tell you. But there's always a marker of these kind of women who do shit like this. And the same can be said for men, right? But I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about women. And I think, much like the women who flex this kind of stuff, it's like, when you're this vapid, this shallow, and you literally have nothing more to your name other than the Chanel bags and everything else that you have that's materialistic, why would a man want to date you? Granted, I've come across some men in the gym just like working out, having casual conversation that suck at having conversation. So maybe there is some commonality there. But what I find is, whenever I've ran into women like that, who are the curated Instagram, don't really do anything else, or at least present much else on their Instagram, these people have the most vapid fucking, I want to use a better word. Not a better word, but they have the emptiest lives, right? Like, there's no like depth. There we go. That's a good way to put it. There's no depth in these people. And that's a lot of you women. I mean, people have become NPCs a lot more lately. But I find it particularly interesting that a lot of women really do suck at having conversation. And, not to put my own personal life in there, I think one thing that drew me to my current girlfriend is that she was engaged in wanting to have conversation, right? Like, I wasn't constantly being the one to reach out only, she'd reach out, stuff like that. So when you have a small circle or a small amount of women who are like this, it really is slim pickings to an extent, right? I think one thing I would say, as far as nature is concerned, when a woman finds you attractive, or they're attracted to you innately, regardless, they're going to be more open to engaging with you and speaking to you, so on and so forth. So essentially what I would say is, if you run into a woman that obviously is not giving you much feedback on a conversation, maybe you should stop talking to her. But no, I wanted to keep this as brief as possible. Like I said, I'm going to make a video essay on this, but Akash's relationship is a great recession indicator for relationships, because when you see a man like that get berated and basically just made to be the clown of the relationship, and as a man you see that, why would you want to be in a relationship? I'm glad that I'm in a relationship before I seen that, because personally I probably wouldn't want to be in one. Not to say that my thought process is that easily swayed, but for those who don't like the manosphere, or quote unquote red pill content. And I can agree with you and say that there are some moments within this niche that some people really take shit too far. Personally, of course. Like, I'm all for discourse. And, coming up with maybe not solutions, right? Like, I don't think there's solutions for this. Personally, I think we're living through social evolution. Will is also going through a AI evolution or technological evolution. Because AI, at least to me, just stands for actually Indians. But but for the most part, when you see these things, for the people who don't like manosphere red pill styled content, and you wish it gone, like you wish it was not a thing. My question to you is, what is the argument against what men in this space say, and women, some women are in this space, but what is the argument against what men and women have to say when it comes to logical situations like this? Like, if you're going to sit here and bold-face give me a lie and say, I don't think what she's doing is wrong, you are a part of the problem. You are 100% a part of the problem. Because it is the people within the Instagram comment section, not just with hers, but in general, that validate shit like this. Some people try to live vicariously through others, and seeing them do stuff that they would want to do makes them emboldened to try it themselves. And then at the same time, some people just want to watch the world burn, so they go ahead and just, endorse the most rambunctious shit. I don't know, but that's just how people are. What I would say is this. Men have dating fatigue. And I have all sorts of fatigues. And I'm not just talking about the first one that popped into your mind. Personally speaking, I'm not going to get too deep into this one. I've been in this weird mindset lately. I'm just not fucking with humans, man. I'm really not fucking with y'all. I'm working on changing that, especially as someone who is a creative professional, working professional. Being able to have a better social climate, temperature, I should say, because right now I'm very cold in a sense where it's like I'm not very social. I don't really want to talk to people. I just went through a whole Instagram cleanse, and I'm about to make a new page just because the network I'm in, I feel, is not valuable. Like, it's not valuable to me. Like, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because men feel the same way about dating. At least dating most of y'all. For some men, they just don't feel like the juice is worth the squeeze. And I think between that short and Akash, this is a great bridge for a subject, right? For the video I'm going to make Friday. But both of these things are correlated. Because when you're a man like Akash, who's very naive, not used to women, right? You're not proficient in the skills with women. I don't mean to make it sound derogatory, but more or less, you're a novice, right? Wasn't Akash a virgin, at least as far as I know, from what I've heard. When you're that guy, it is so easy for you to get taken advantage of. I'm not getting taken advantage of because I was a piece of shit for a very long time. So I done seen it all, man. I done seen it all. Trust when I tell you, I have seen it all. But for guys who haven't, who are naive, who see this chick and all of a sudden they think she's the one, for those dudes, man, you are fresh fucking meat. You are fresh meat for these women, and they will take you every single time. The problem is, though, most men are like this. So therefore, what's the solution? Not date. And that's what men are doing. So anyway, I didn't want to make this too long. Honestly, I didn't want to fucking make a video. But yeah, I'll make a video essay this Friday. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled program going forward. Once again, shout out to Sean Taylor. No, I'm not a Washington Redskins. Well, I was actually a Washington Redskins fan. Note the words that I'm saying here. But when they fucked up RG3's career, oh, my camera's about to die. Anyway, let me just wrap this up. When they fucked up RG3's career when they were, under Mike Shanahan, I was like, you know what? Fuck all this shit. So I converted to the Raiders. Side note, worst decision of my life. So now I don't watch sports at all. I'm not for the bread and circus. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll talk to you motherfuckers on Friday. Peace.